Today in math, we are going to learn how to show numbers using base 10 blocks. But before we do that, let's talk about today's date. Today's date is April 22nd, 2020. Yesterday, Tuesday, was the 21st. Today is Wednesday, the 22nd. So say today's date with me. Today's date is Wednesday, April 22nd, 2020. Very good. As we said on Monday, we have about another week until the end of the month of April. So how many days have we been in school? On Monday, I said that we had been in school for 148 days. And so it was 148 on Monday. So today is, Tuesday would have been 149. Today is 150. Yes, guys, it is a bundle up day. That's a big bundle up day. 150 is a big number. Okay. So 150, let's look at our days in school. If we have 150, how many hundreds do we have? 100. And if we just took all our ones and put them into the tens pocket, listen, 150. Okay, how many tens do we have? How many groups of 10? We would have 5. And then how many ones? 0. 1, 5, 0 is 150 days in school. So let me ask you this. If we've been in school for 150 days and we will be in school for 180 days, how many days are left until the end of school? That's a nice even number to round up. Do a little bit of mental math there. 150 to 180. How many days left? All right, if you are thinking or saying 30, you are correct. 30 days. Wow, that's incredible. Okay, today we're going to talk about showing numbers using base 10 blocks. I absolutely love base 10 blocks. I love how they help us see numbers better, just like we were talking about. We were just talking about our numbers for days in school. How many hundreds? How many tens? How many ones? Unit cubes show those numbers in a very visual way. So I know you've seen the unit cubes before. Some of you play with them at recess, but today we're just going to talk about them a little bit. So here you have some of the unit cubes in front of you. This one right here, this is just a single little cube, one little cube, and we call it a unit cube because it is one unit. It's kind of like 1 penny. It just represents 1. Now this one is called a 10 stick. Why do you think this would be called a 10 stick? Look at this stick compared to the unit cube. You're right. If you're thinking that perhaps there are 10 of these in one of these, you are correct, but I want to prove it to you, okay? So I'm going to put one 10 stick here. And then I want you to count with me, and we're going to count unit cubes and see how many unit cubes it takes to equal this 10 stick, okay? All right, so I'm going to lay them beside here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, All right, I'm going to press those together and let you see them all lined up against that 10 stick. Okay, how many unit cubes does it take to equal this stick right here? There are 10 of them. And that's why we call it a 10 stick, because it's easier to hold up a 10 stick that's worth 10 than it is to count out 10 of these unit cubes. It's kind of like dimes and pennies, right guys? If I owe someone 10 cents, it's easier to use a dime instead of counting out 10 pennies. So that's why we use a 10 stick. Okay, so let's take the number 25. What if I wanted to show 25 using my base 10 blocks? What could I use? How many 10 sticks and how many unit cubes? Now you might be thinking, well, you could use 25 unit cubes, and I could. I could count out 25 unit cubes right now, and that would equal 25. It's kind of like pennies, right? I could count out 25 pennies to make 25 cents, and it would equal 25 cents, but that would take a little bit longer. What's the easiest way to show 25? What if we used 10 sticks? 10, 20, and then how many unit cubes do I need? You're right, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 25, 2 10s, 5 1s. Aren't base 10 blocks fun? I love them. I love using them to show numbers. Well, that isn't all, guys. We have unit cubes, and we need unit cubes, don't we? For ones like 5. And we have 10 sticks, and we need 10 sticks so we can easily show our 10s. Just like our straws that are bundled up in our 10s pocket, right? It's easier to bundle them up and put them together. But we also have another base 10 block. Look at this big guy right here. Wow, this is really different from our 10 stick and our unit cube. See the difference in the size there? And you can see what I have written there. What do we call this? We call it our 100 flat. 100 flat. How many unit cubes do you think there might be in a 100 flat? You are right. It is 100 unit cubes. Now, I'm not going to take the time to do it. However, I could take these unit cubes and I could put one on top of each and every single section here. And if we put them all together, guess how many we would have? It would be 100. But I do want to show you something else that will be a little bit faster, okay? So I'm going to take 100 flat here. And instead of putting unit cubes on them, I am going to use 10 sticks. How many 10 sticks do you think would be in a 100 flat? Do you see the 10 sticks right here? All right, let's count. I'm going to lay the 10 sticks on top. Are you ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I think they look like French fries. 4, except that French fries are not green. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'm going to squeeze those together there. All right, how many of you guessed 10? If you guessed 10 sticks, you got it. It takes 10 of these to equal 1 of these, because 10 tens equals 100. Guys, I'm going back to our days of the week, our numbers, excuse me guys, days in school chart, okay? Right, we have our ones, and then when we get 10 ones, we put it into a bundle of 10, right? And then do you remember what we did on the 100th day of school? We took those 10 tens and we bundled them up into 100. This is showing the very same thing. All right, so let's say I have a number like 132. 132. I would like to show 132 using the base 10 blocks. Which blocks would you use? Okay, it would be easiest to show this number using a 100 flat, wouldn't it? Because look at the hundreds place here. How many 100 flats do I need? Just one, because that's going to show one group of 100. All right, what would I do next? 130. What could I use to represent 30? You're right, I could use 10 sticks. Let's count. 110, 120, 130. Okay, how many 10 sticks did I need to show the 3 here in the tens place? You're right, 3 of them. 100, 3 tens, and then how many unit cubes? Yes, 2. 2 ones. 132. Okay, and we could show all kinds of numbers using these. I could do a big number, right? I could do a big number like 595. Okay, I could use 5 100 flats, 9 10 sticks, and 5 unit cubes for 595. And we will be doing more of those later. Okay, now I have one more thing to show you. And this is one that you probably didn't play with at recess. This is the biggest base 10 block that we have. Look at this, guys. Now, you're not with me, so you can't see this in 3D. I wish you could. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just turn this sort of sideways. Do you see that this is a huge, what we call a cube? Okay? This has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if I turn it over to the bottom, 6. This is a 6-sided shape here. It's called a cube. Any guesses how many unit cubes make up this huge cube here? Well, if it takes 10 unit cubes to make a 10 stick, and 10 sticks to make 100 flat, how many 100 flats do you think it would take to make this cube? If you're thinking 10, you are correct. Now it's going to be very difficult for me to hold my camera and show you how to count all the 100 flats because I'm laying them, you wouldn't be able to see it sideways. So I'm just going to ask you to trust the fact that if I stacked up 100 flats, so if I were to do it like this, and I were going to stack up those 100 flats all the way across, there would be 10 of them. See, look at the side here. One 100 flat is the same as the side of this cube. And so inside of that cube are 10 100 flats. So here's the question, guys. How many unit cubes do you think are inside of here? If 10 100 flats fit inside, what would we call this? It is a 1,000 cube. 1,000 cube. Can you believe that inside of this cube would be 1,000 of these little unit cubes? Wow. But you know what? It helps us to easily show a big number like this. 1,457. Ooh, that's a big number, guys. Look at that. You're used to doing two-digit numbers. We've done some numbers that have a hundreds place, but this number has a thousands place. But you know what? We can easily show this number using our base 10 blocks, can't we? We have everything we need. So let's show the number 1,457. Okay? Well, what am I going to start with? Look at the thousands. What am I going to use for that? Yes, I've got to use our big 1,000 cube to represent that big number. 1,000. How many hundreds? 4. How many hundred flats do I need? 4, because listen, 1,400. So I need 400 flats. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1,400. Okay? How many tens? There's our tens place. How many tens? You're right, 5. What base 10 block am I going to use? My 10 stick, right? Because 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So here we go. I'm going to use 5. So here we have 1,400, 410, 420, 430, 440, 450. Woo, what a huge number. And now the last part is our ones place. Remember, the ones place is always the farthest on the right. How many ones do we have? We have 7. How many unit cubes will we use? 7. Okay, so 1,450, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57. And that is how we show the number 1,457. It is fun to use base 10 blocks. I wish you were with me and I could let you hold these and play with them. But for now, I hope that really helps you to visualize how we can show big numbers using base 10 blocks.